What's going on, my little twisted army? It's your boy Magic Pat. So we're out here in my backyard with a package that I actually just opened so I can kind of take a sneak peek. We're going to do an unboxing literally the day after my birthday. So we got a package from Okuma. You know, every year they sponsor the channel, they send me equipment to use. And so what better way to, you know, celebrate my birthday than opening up some new gear? So let's get right into it. Anyway, so let's take a look. We'll do some of the reels. So I didn't get as many rod and reels this time, and the reason why is that they've got some saltwater stuff they're coming out with in probably 2 to 3 months that I want to make sure that I have some leftover so I can pick some of that stuff up. So we're going to start with this. I got a new Komodo reel. They said it's a newer version. I'm not really too sure how. I've got to sit down and look at the specs, but y'all watching my stuff last year, y'all know I really got back heavy into my swim bait fishing. So I wanted to get another swim bait set up. So I got the Komodo. This is the 364. So that's the 300 size. So it's a 300 size reel, and it's a 6.4 gear ratio. So it's mid-tier. You know, it's not really super fast. It's not really super slow. It's just kind of like that mid-range speed. And I'll be using this probably for some of my decent sized glide baits. Now, the rod that I ordered for this is coming into a separate order. So they were I think they were out of stock of that model. So I went with one size up. So we won't do a unboxing of that. It's just going to show up. Just know that I've got one of their swim bait rods coming for this. You've seen me use the other swim bait rod. It's the medium heavy. So I've got an extra heavy coming for this one. And we're probably going to run 65-pound braid on this, because y'all know I do braid to a mono or fluorocarbon leader for those big swim baits and glide baits. See, we've got one of these. Y'all know that's the Komodo is my favorite reel they make. I love the Komodos. All right, I'm gonna show you the reel and the rod on this one. We're gonna open this up. Oh, I should have brought a pocket knife with me. I forgot to tape down. Give me 1 second. All right, so I used this reel last year whenever we went to Tennessee to do some filming. We went up there with Mark Cooper of Top Knox Fishing, and they brought one of these reels, and I got to use it and absolutely love this bad boy. So it's the Samar 8000A. I went with the larger size because this is going on my new catfish setup. So it's a live liner. You can turn the switch and the spool just free engages like that, so you can do cut bait, chunk bait, whatever. Of course, you know, if you just spin the handle, it automatically sets the hook and you're ready to catch that fish. So I'm going to use it for catfishing and probably some light saltwater. And I actually got another, if I don't break it in a tree, I got another Cat Slayer rod, the Cat Slayer Custom. So this is their 8-foot spinning model. And I actually got this reel to go on this rod. Let's see. Oh, there's a rubber band on there, but I'm gonna just move it down so I can show y'all what this setup's gonna look like. And we were catching some sub 30-pound catfish on this, and believe it or not, we were actually dragging with it. So this rod is actually capable of handling that much pressure, but I'm gonna be using this from the bank so you can get a look at it. This is actually the setup here. I think it matches pretty well too. And I'm not sure what line I'm going to run on this. I'm thinking mono. I might run 25 or 30-pound mono. I don't really need to cast far for the catfish. But then again, I use so much braid, I'm half tempted to probably just fill this up with like 50-pound braid maybe. I might even do 80. It'll hold a decent amount of 80. Yeah, it'll hold a good bit of 80. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll figure it out. Once I figure out how the river's going to be this year and what I need to do to catfish out there, we'll get it set up. I'm gonna at least probably run 50-pound braid at least, just because this thing gets a good amount of drag. I think it's like 20 to 30 pounds. Most of their stuff runs about that range, so it's more drag than you actually need for the fish that you're going for. So that's one of the setups. Let me move this over here. Now I've already got this one setup put together. So last year I got one of the Selena reels right here. It's the 14,000, and I got it to do jigging for like amberjack and stuff. But since I also got that big Tesoro 20,000, I decided we're going to swap it up, and I got them to send me one of their Silver Slayer tarpon rods. It's the heavy action. It's 15 to 30 pound line rating, and it's like a 7 foot. And I thought maybe this reel was going to be too big for it, but actually it looks like it's about how it should be. So this one I'm definitely going to run probably 40 to 50 pound braid on it, because this year I plan on doing a lot of tarpon fishing from my kayak. We're going to get one of them big tarpon underneath the bridge this year. I'm going to make it happen. I've been doing my research, and I figured out what I'm going to do to try to get them. So probably some drifting live bait, maybe some smaller jigs, but this is going to be the setup that we do it with. So it's an incredible looking setup, and it just, I mean, it feels nice too. It's got almost got kind of like a carbon fiber graphite look to it. This is going to be real fun. So let me get this out of the way. Now, this other setup, I'm going to do a lot of fly fishing this year for the striped bass. I had fun with it last year, but I didn't have an actual Okuma setup. I had a reel, but I didn't have a rod. So I got a full setup. I'm not really going to undo it right now. We'll just see it in a video later. But we got one of the fly rods. You know, it breaks down into 4 pieces. It comes with its own holding bag. But I have to wait on the fly reel. So the reel's going to be here in about another week. So once we get that, I might show them together. I had to reach for the camera. That wind caught it real quick. And then that way you can kind of get a look at what it looks like when it comes in. And then my last reel, which I got to dig to find real quick. I have several jigging setups in there. I've got some for vertical jigging, some for slow pitch. This is going to be for my actual like heavy duty vertical jigging setup, amberjack, grouper, that kind of stuff. This is the Kavala 12, and I've already got one of these. I used it last year. Y'all seen me catch some giant black drum on it. Every time I had an actual like deep sea trip ready to go last year, we had 8 of them. Every single one got messed up by weather. We had to cancel every single one. So we're going to put this bad boy on a jigging rod. We already have the rod. I got it last year. Listen to that. See, the one that I got last year is on a bait rod. So like a chunking setup, you put a chunk of meat on a leader and you feed it out. So whenever a fish runs, you hear that. Man, that sounds so good. But this one, I'm actually going to do heavy braid, 80 to 100 pound, maybe even 130. And we're going to do just strictly vertical jigging. This is going to be for the grouper, for the amberjack, the heavy hitting fish on like wrecks and stuff. Like, we're going to try to lock this up, try to pull them out of structure. That's literally all this this reel and that rod that I have in there is going to be for. That's literally it. So now we've got a complete setup. We have 2. We have a spinning vertical setup, and now a casting setup, or a conventional, whichever you want to say. And then I also have a conventional slow pitch setup, which they're coming out with some new stuff here in a couple months, so I'm ready for that. They actually are going to have a slow pitch dedicated reel. I just can't, you know, I'm waiting to see what it's going to look like, and then we'll have 1 or 2 of those as well. Now, as far as the rest of this is all lures. So I'm not going to show you everything just because it's a lot of repeats just in different colors. So I'm going to show you 1 or 2 of each of them just so you get an idea of what we have. Now, 90% of this box is swim baits of some fashion. I got them to send me quite a bit of their swim bait collection because, you know, last year I saw that the striped bass were just hammering anything that looked like a shad or a skipjack. Well, especially this one, I'll go ahead and show you the 3. This is their new swim bait they just came out with last year at ICAST, and they're just now really starting to get it out there for people to buy. It's their BBZ hard mullet swim bait. Now, for any of y'all that bass fish, tell me that don't look like a skipjack, or even this color, like the bone with the silver cheek. Now that looks good. This is I've got a smaller version of this one already. They sent me the other week. This is the silver mullet. So this is actually a saltwater swim bait. This is meant for like redfish, striped bass, you know, out in the salt, that kind of stuff. Jack Crevalle. I'm going to use them for that, but I'm also going to use them for the striped bass, the big hybrids, and the big spotted bass we have here in my local river. All right, we're going to get to another one. Let me get these out of the way just because they're here. So I had them send me a bunch of their spinner baits, the BioBlade spinner bait, the other year, and I caught some decent bass. I caught one all the way up to like 6.5 pounds. They use this little mimic tail that goes on the back of them, makes the blades run straight. The swim bait doesn't wobble back and forth. You get a real nice straight retrieve with it. But these do get ripped off after a while. I mean, it usually takes about 6 fish. But like that one day where I caught like 30-something bass, they were just eating spinner baits. It didn't matter what color. After 30 fish, I went through a pack of these, so, which is good. I mean, that's not bad, but I went ahead and got them to send me some more of them, and multiple different colors too, just so I can make sure I've got those taken care of when we use more of those this year. So let me get that out the way. So I had them send me 2 of their glide baits. Once again, big glide baits, and 8-inch glides, only about 3.5 ounces. Skipjack, looks just like a skipjack. I'm going for big stripes here in my local river. This is exactly what I'm going to use for them. So whenever I feel like throwing one of the bigger baits, this is going to be it. I got 2 different colors. I had them give me the bone. So that way, whenever I'm fishing muddy water, because a lot of times we have muddy water in this area, they'll be able to see this. When it's real crystal clear, we'll be throwing this one. Woo, about to drop it. All right, so what else do we have in here that I want to show? So we have a bunch of different styles of baits. So I'm going to grab one of each. Just know I have a small and a large of each of these. So I got them to send me one of their wake baits. The BioShad, or yeah, BioShad wake bait. This is the 6-inch version. We have the 4-inch also, so I've got one of each. And then my favorite, the BioShad, just the straight swim bait. I got large and small ones of these as well, different colors. I got about 8 different colors in there. So let's see, what else did we get? So I got some more. The other year I got some of their slow pitch jigs, but they were way too big. I didn't realize they had smaller ones, so I got them to send me some more, but in the smaller range. So this is closer to what I use when I'm fishing underneath the Hathaway Bridge in Panama City. So these are all like 60 to 100 grams, which is perfect. A lot of times there's heavy current underneath there, so it's going to work out great. So I'll be using their slow pitches along with some of the other companies that I work with. Of course, they got some casting jigs if I can find one. Let's see, I'm sure there's a casting one in here somewhere I can grab. Yep, here's one of the casting jigs. And it works just like a slow pitch. I'm actually going to take the trebles off of these, and I'm going to put assist hooks on these too. That way it'll be their version of like a micro jig. So these are like 40 grams. Let's see, what else? Of course, we got some of the crankbait style swim baits. We got some of these, and the small and the large. Be throwing a lot of those. And then the one that I'm super excited about that's new this year, I don't know if I'll be able to get into the box because I forgot my pocket knife, so I'm just gonna tear into it like a birthday gift, which pretty much is anyway to me. So they got 2 sizes. I think I got just the 2 sizes. It's a small and like a medium size. This is their version of a paddle tail. It's almost like those Kitex and stuff that I use all the time for like my Alabama rigs, or like when I'm using just single J hook. So I got these smaller ones here, like 3.5 inch, and they go all the way up to like a 4.5, almost 5 inch paddle tail. So I've got some of the smaller ones for when I'm doing just that individual J hook or that individual jig hook. And that way I can do it around structure, the rocks for those big spotted bass. But then I've also got some of the larger ones, so I could do some of these smaller ones on an Alabama rig, and then one of the big ones in the middle for like a bigger presentation. Because you know, I tore up some fish on the Alabama rig last year, and I plan to do a lot of that also. I believe that is pretty much it for all the different style lures we have in here. Now there's a bunch more I can bring you in and let you get a look. The box is full. It's slap full, but it's a lot of repeats. You know, multiple different colors, multiple different styles, that kind of thing. We're waiting to put in any more orders or ask them for anything else later on in the year, just because I know they got a lot of new stuff coming out. They got some new catfish stuff coming out to go with the Cat Slayer Custom. So I'll be getting some of that when it comes out. Until then, my bass season is about to start. So, you know, the giant spotted bass, the shoal bass, the striped bass, they're all going to be coming in within like the next month. So this is all the stuff, minus the jigs, that we're going to be using that will get me through this big run, because the shad run's about to start. When the shad show up and the skipjack show up, all the giant bass come in right behind them. So, and the big catfish, the big flatheads, they'll be coming in like another 3 or so months. They'll do their run. So I got a new setup. I'll have several catfish setups. We'll be prepared for them. It's going to be a really good time. So if you like what you see, you enjoy this kind of stuff, you know, give me a like, subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. I have a lot of fun doing these videos for y'all. Of course, I'm trying to grow like everybody is. You can always become a member if you want to help support more of this kind of stuff. And that's going to be it. We're going to get out of here, and I'm going to catch you back out on the water. Peace.